Okay, so in this video, I'll show you exactly how to set up an LLC from start to finish using Taylor Brands. This video is exactly what I wish I had around 8 years ago when I set up my LLC and I had to go through tons of articles online trying to find the best LLC formation service and also, how to set everything up. And really quick before we get started, I want to let you know that if you decide to use my link down below in the description, that is my affiliate link. I'm partnered with Taylor Brands, so you'll be helping support my channel, which I sincerely appreciate. It helps me create more free tutorials like this for you. So I just want to let you know that and say thank you. Okay, so to get to the Taylor Brands sign up page, go ahead and click on the first link down below in the description, or you can go to joshburnstech.com/Taylor Brands. So let's go ahead and go there now. And that will take you to this page here. So to get started, the first thing we need to do is select our state. So I'll go down through here and click on Kentucky because that's where I live. Go ahead and select your state or the state that your LLC is going to be formed in, and then go ahead and click Get Started right here. Okay, so now we need to choose a name for our LLC. Now this step is extremely important because business name issues are the main cause of LLCs being rejected by the state. So you need to avoid using names that suggest you're associated with a government agency, an insurance company, or a financial institution. So that would include words like agency, commission, bureau, bank, trust, and other similar terms. So if you simply Google what words are prohibited in your state LLC names, so you can see I'm using Kentucky, just swap out Kentucky with, wherever you live at, and then just go ahead and simply hit enter. So you can see right here in this AI overview, if you do show more, it's going to tell you basically everything that I just told you, but it's going to give you a lot of other great information as well, and a lot of other words that you don't want to use, so your LLC doesn't get rejected. Your business name also needs to be unique, and it can't be too similar to other existing names. Taylor Brands has a built-in system that checks business name availability. However, I've noticed that it doesn't always detect existing business names. So to be safe, I would definitely recommend that you search your state government's website, and if you can't find it, then simply call your Secretary of State's office, and it should be easy to find a phone number online for them. So for Kentucky, I could simply come to Google, and I could say Kentucky LLC name search, and if we look at the results here, we could use this one, because this is the official Secretary of State website for Kentucky. So you definitely want to use that. Make sure you're using a reliable source. And that's why I said, if you can't find something like this here for your state, then just figure out, the phone number for your Secretary of State's office and just simply call them. They can help you. But for Kentucky, I can come down here to online searches. And what I can do is come down here and you can see right here, check the availability of your chosen business name. So let's go ahead and click this link. So for this video, what I'm going to do is create an LLC for my second YouTube channel, which is called Faithfully Josh. So let's come down here and let's search for Faithfully Josh and make sure that it's not taken. Okay, so let's go ahead and do search. And there we go, no matching organizations found. So we're good to go. I can go ahead and create an LLC for, Faithfully Josh, and it won't be rejected because of a business name issue. So let's go ahead and go back to Taylor Brands. And there we go. Here's our LLC name and our state. So let's go ahead and do check availability. And there we go. We are good to go. Now again, I wouldn't recommend relying on Taylor Brands to check the business name. It works sometimes it doesn't, always identify existing business names. Definitely make sure your business name is available so you don't have to start over from scratch and, waste a lot of time. So now let's go ahead and come down here and do next. Okay, so on this page, you simply need to tell Taylor Brands what stage that your business is currently in. So for me, I have my YouTube channel, it's already started, it's making some money from ad revenue and things like that. So it's not an idea. Taking first steps, about to launch. So technically I would be right here already in business. If your business is just getting started, you haven't, made any money yet, you're not selling products, you're not doing any services, you would want to do, probably taking first steps if you already have the idea for your business, or, you might want to do about to launch if you're getting ready to, launch maybe a website, maybe a product, a service, whatever it may be. So go ahead and choose whatever stage your business is currently in, and then do next right here. So on this screen, we need to tell Tailor Brands what industry our business is in. So if you start typing, in here, it'll come up with different things. So for me, my industry is going to be internet publishing, which you can see right here. Now, if you're not sure what industry to choose for your business, what I would recommend doing is simply going to ChatGPT and then tell, ChatGPT that you need help determining the industry for your business. And then you can, type in different things about your business, what products you sell, what, services that you provide, and it'll help you come up with, an idea of what industry to choose. Okay, so next, what does your business offer? So we have physical goods, we have professional services, and then you can type in your own if it doesn't fall into one of these. My business right now is purely content with my second YouTube channel, so it's not going to have professional services. Now, I do plan to, create some merch, t-shirts and things like that sometime in the future. So I think what I'll do is go ahead and select physical goods right here, because that will be a physical good. Now, if you do, consulting services, like, businesses hire you to provide some type of service, then you definitely want to select this option right here. And then if there's something that doesn't fall into these first two, you simply type it in. So because my business does fall into content creation, it doesn't fall into one of these here. So what I can do is type in this. We're going to type in educational and entertainment content. If, what you offer doesn't fall into these, simply type it in down here. And now we can go ahead and do next. Okay, so are you planning to hire employees in the upcoming year? So for me, I'm not. I do use some contractors for video editing and thumbnails and things like that for my, other YouTube channel. However, those are not employees. They're not, on W-2 where taxes are going through and everything like that. They are simply contractors that I hire through, Upwork and places like that as well. This is going to be no for me. If you're not sure, you can do, not sure. Or if you do have employees or you plan to hire employees, then you need to choose this right here. So for me, it's going to be no right now, so I can go ahead and do next. Okay, so do you have an annual income goal for your business? Think about how much money that your business is expected to make, in the upcoming year, or could make. So that would be your income goal, and you can select it right here. If you don't know, you can simply say, I don't know, if you really just have no idea. So for my second YouTube channel, Faithfully Josh, it's a lot of Christian content, and it's probably not going to generate a lot of money just because, that's not why I created it. I do think it will, probably pay for the video editing and things like that. If I'm lucky, I'll break even on it, so I'll be happy with that. So what I'm going to do is select less than 80,000 because I don't anticipate to make more than that per year with that channel, unless for some reason I do merchandise eventually and it does very well. But again, it's going to be less than 80 for me. Now, if it was my, main business, it would be this one right here, more than 80,000, because that is where I make all my money from. Fill in whatever works best for you here, whatever type of goal you have, and then do next. Okay, so now we need to tell Tailor Brands where we are going to operate from. So you can go ahead and type in your zip code here. So I'll go ahead and type in my zip code, which is going to be in Lexington, Kentucky. And now we need to select where we are going to serve our customers at. So for me, it's going to be online. I will not have a brick and mortar store, and I will not be on the go as a locksmith, plumber, or whatever. So go ahead and select where you plan to serve customers. For me, it's going to be online. And then go ahead and do next. Okay, so what else are you planning to do for your business? Now, the best thing about Tailor Brands is they offer pretty much everything for your business. You can do it all in one place. And I mean, pretty much everything. That is the selling factor, the best thing about Tailor Brands. If you're someone that likes to do everything on one platform in one place, Tailor Brands is definitely for you. So as you can see here, obviously you definitely want this selected because we're starting an LLC. So you want LLC. However, they can also, help you with a logo. You can, use their AI logo maker to come up with a bunch of different ideas and variations of a logo for your business. So Taylor Brands will offer, professional tax preparation and filing services, and their experts are, they can handle federal and state returns to ensure, accuracy and also minimize your deductions as well. They also provide integrated accounting software for invoicing, expense tracking, and financial reporting. So if you don't have an accountant or a CPA and you want to keep everything in one place, like I mentioned before, then this could be a great option for you. But personally, I have my own accountant, so I don't really need this. So Taylor Brands can also help you get your EIN or tax ID number. Now, this is something that I would recommend using, Taylor Brands to help you with, unless you're comfortable applying for it, on your own. For me, I definitely want it done the right way, and I want to be hands off. So, I would recommend using Taylor Brands for that. So I'm definitely going to select this right here. So the EIN or tax ID number is essentially like a social security number for your business, but you're going to need it to open a business bank account and to also hire employees. So it's something that you really need. And again, I'll talk more about that really soon. So you can also use Taylor Brands to get business insurance, which, business insurance is very, very important. It's something I recommend. And if, again, you want to keep everything in the same place, you can use Taylor Brands to help you do that. So Taylor Brands can help you with general liability, workers' comp, commercial auto, tools and equipment, and business owners policies. Again, if you're interested in, having everything in one place, then you could check out their business insurance and select this option here. There are other really good options as well for business insurance. If, you want to go with someone else, which is completely fine. I personally don't use Taylor Brands, so I can't tell you from experience how, who they use for business insurance and if I would recommend them or not. But what I can tell you is that there are really good options, and I can show you one that I've been looking at switching to. Let's come over here to Google and we can type in the Hartford right here. And here it is. So I've looked into this company recently and I'm actually considering switching to their business insurance. They have a lot of really good reviews. From what I've looked at, they seem to be probably the best. And I have no affiliation with them. If you decide to use them or look into them, I will not get any compensation or anything out of it. This is just completely based on my research and someone I'm actually considering switching to. So I just want to let you know that in case it helps you. So next up, we have licenses and permits. Now, depending on what industry your business is in, what services you offer, what products you have, you may need specific licenses and permits in your state. Now, this is something that's very important. You definitely need to have the right licenses and permits to operate in your state, within your business. And failing to have them could result in some really serious issues for your LLC. If you want to use Taylor Brands to help you determine the licenses and permits that you might need, then go ahead and select this option right here, which is what I would recommend doing. Because if you don't do this, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to contact your local, city or county government offices and, find someone that can help you determine this. Or you're going to have to, hire a lawyer and have a lawyer help you figure out what licenses and permits you need. So if you don't want to go through doing that all on your own, then go ahead and select this option here and Taylor Brands can help you. Okay, so next up we have a website. So Taylor Brands can help you, build a website for your business. So Taylor Brands has an automated AI-powered website builder, which makes it really easy to build a website. So you simply have to answer a few questions about your business, and then, the AI website builder is going to generate a fully built custom website in pretty much minutes for you. And if you don't want to use the AI website builder, maybe you're someone that's comfortable, building a website or designing it yourself, then what you can also do is you can choose from a lot of different website templates, find one that you like a lot, and then you can simply customize it and make it fit your business. And if you'd rather not do any of that yourself at all, what you can do is you can also use Taylor Brands' in-house design team that can actually build the website for you. So you can simply pay, someone on Taylor Brands' website design team, and they will build out your website for your business. Now, if you would rather do it yourself, I have a bunch of different website tutorials on my channel. I just uploaded one, pretty recently. That's like a 4.5 hour WordPress course. So if you're interested in doing it yourself, I would definitely recommend watching that, WordPress course after this video. Now, if we scroll down, we also have domain. Now, if you're going to build a website for your business, you also need a domain for your website. So for me personally, that would be www.faithfullyjosh.com. So you could also get your domain through Tailor Brands as well. The best thing about this is you can keep everything in the same place. You can register your domain and you can build out your website all within Tailor Brands if you're interested in doing that. So I already have my domain. I've already secured it, so I don't need this right here. But, if you don't have a domain for your business, I would definitely recommend trying to buy that and register it as soon as possible so someone else doesn't. And then next we have sales tax permit right here. Now with this, you can use Tailor Brands to handle your state-specific sales tax license. I personally would recommend getting a CPA or accountant to help you determine if you need this after forming your LLC, and I'll talk more about this later in the video. And then last, we have trademark right here. So Tailor Brands offers a trademark filing service to help you secure your brand legally. They will help you, trademark your business name or logo across the US and continue protecting it through maintenance and monitoring as well. So if you're interested in trademarking, either your, LLC business name or your logo, then this is a great option that can help you out with that. So for me, I believe this is all I need: LLC, EIN, licenses, and permits. So go ahead and select whatever you're planning to do with your business, pretty much everything you want Tailor Brands to help you with, and then go ahead and click next right here. Okay, so on this screen, we basically need to tell Tailor Brands everything that our business currently has. So if we go down and look at the list, I'm just going to go down through here and find things that I already have. So I do already have a business bank account, so we're going to select that. Next, I already have insurance for my business. I have a logo. I have a domain. I don't have an LLC or a registered agent. And let's see, what else do we have here? Taxes and accounting. I do have a CPA. I work with a local accountant. Trademark, website. I do have a business email. I have the domain for my website, but I have not built out my website yet, so we'll leave that unchecked. And I believe that is it. So again, on this screen, you want to select what you already have. If you're just starting your business, you're probably not going to have anything here. But, go down through here, look for things that you already have, select them, and then you can go to next right here. Or you could do none of the above if you don't have anything. So let's go ahead and do next. So how did you discover Tailor Brands? If you discovered them through this YouTube video, then come down here and do YouTube. If you already heard them before, maybe researching them further, and then you found my video, then go ahead and select whatever works for you here and do next. Okay, so if you're interested in joining a free 12-week coaching program to, basically learn how to run a successful business, then this is something that Tailor Brands offers with any plan that you sign up with. So you can see right here that you can join it, completely for free. So, I would probably recommend, going through with this. You don't even have to join it, but it does come free with every plan. So you might as well just go ahead and leave this option selected and then do next. Now on this screen, really simple, type in your first name, last name, and then your phone number as well, and then go ahead and click next. Okay, so on this page, you can use Tailor Brands to get your EIN or tax ID number for your business. Now again, like I mentioned earlier, this is basically the social security number for your business. You're going to need it to open a business bank account, and you're also going to need it to hire employees as well. So it's very important, and you really have to get one for your business. It's not an option. So you can pay Tailor Brands $99 to get your tax ID or EIN for you, which is what I would personally recommend doing because they can take care of all the paperwork for you and, get an EIN for your company from the IRS so that you don't have to do any of it yourself. That's what I would do, just to be completely hands off. However, if you want to save money and, you're comfortable doing all the paperwork and doing it the right way, then you can get a tax ID or EIN from the IRS for free. You don't have to pay anything for it. However, it's really important to remember that you will have to wait until you get confirmation that your LLC name and formation have been approved before you apply for an EIN or tax ID number. So after you have confirmation that your LLC, formation has been approved, then you can head over to the federal government's IRS application portal and fill out the online form. Now, this is what the website is going to look like. You need to make sure you're on the right website. I'll put a link to this down below in the description for you, so you can simply click on it and go here if you want to apply for the tax ID or EIN all yourself. So make sure you're on the right website, and then when you scroll down here, you can see this button that says apply for an EIN. So after, your LLC name and formation have been approved and you get confirmation from Taylor Brands and you want to do the EIN part yourself, then wait for that confirmation. And then after you get confirmation, come to this website, click on this button, and then you can apply for an EIN, completely for free. Okay, so for me, again, I want to be hands off. I want to make sure that my paperwork is done correctly and I don't mess something up and, get my LLC rejected by my state for some reason. So what I'm going to do is select, help me get my EIN, and then go ahead and select next right here. Okay, so next we need to choose a registered agent for your business. So a registered agent is a designated individual or business entity that must be available during business hours to handle, formal legal documents for your business. So basically, a registered agent keeps your business organized and in compliance with legal obligations as well. And having a registered agent is a requirement to start your business. It's not an option, no matter who you decide to use to form your LLC. If you do it yourself, if you use a service, it doesn't matter. You have to have a registered agent. So if you decided to, start an LLC by yourself and do all the paperwork yourself, then basically your registered agent would have to be, a resident of your state who's also above the age of 18. It could also be a company or a business other than, the one that you own. You could use a friend or a family member, or you could even be your own registered agent. However, it's important to know that the name and address of the registered agent will become public record. So, instead of exposing your name and address or a friend or family member or something else like that, you can use someone like Taylor Brands to be your registered agent, and they'll handle everything for you. You'll have, Taylor Brands' address and name as your registered agent. So again, it's something I definitely recommend. So, you don't have to assign someone else. You don't have to expose your home address, to the public internet. So if you want to use Taylor Brands as your registered agent, again, I would definitely recommend it. Then you will be charged $199 after your LLC's, application review. And it's going to renew annually. So you'll be charged this amount right here every year. But we're going to go ahead and use this one right here, use Taylor Brands, and then come down here to the bottom and click next. Okay, so as an LLC, you are required to stay in compliance with your state by filing a report annually. And this annual report, it basically helps the state keep accurate records about your business. It includes things like your business name and address, registered agent information, management details, and business activities. So compliance of your LLC is extremely important, because if you don't maintain compliance, then you could face, some serious, financial penalties, and even risk, the state, getting rid or dissolving your LLC. So the annual report filing fee can range from $0 being free to hundreds of dollars depending on what state that you live in. So for me in Kentucky, my annual report filing fee is only $15. I literally go to the Secretary of State website, I fill out a report. Basically, I basically have to tell Kentucky if I made any changes or, updated my address or something like that. And, to file that, it's only $15. However, if you live in Florida, then the annual report filing fee is $138.75. So again, it can range from $0 being free to hundreds of dollars. Now, if you want to be completely hands-off, then you can pay Taylor Brands $199 a year to keep your LLC compliant. So you don't have to worry about, not filing your annual report correctly or, getting out of compliance some other way. You can pay Taylor Brands to help you stay compliant. So for me, if I chose this option here, then it would be $199 plus the Kentucky $15 state filing fee for my annual report. In Kentucky, it's really easy. I, do this online. It takes like 10 minutes. So I don't really need this service here from Taylor Brands. However, if you live in a state where, your compliance, your annual report is a lot more complicated than mine is, then I would definitely recommend this, option right here. Choose whatever works for you here. I'm not trying to sell you something for this. Just choose whatever works for you and then come down here and do next. So again, if you're someone that likes having everything in one place, then Taylor Brands also offers a branding toolkit for your LLC. You get a free domain for your business. So for me, that would be faithfullyjosh.com. You get tools to create logos for your business. You have access to the AI website builder, that we talked about earlier, and a lot of other things as well, even, creating digital business cards for your business. So the branding toolkit comes with the Elite package, which you can see right here. And we'll get into the packages really soon. However, if you don't need, everything I just told you about, which I personally don't, then go ahead and select this option here. However, if you need a domain for your business, logos, a website, and you want to keep it all in the same place, then this is a great option for you. So let's come down here to the bottom and do next. Okay, so if you're impatient and you want your LLC filed, as fast as possible, then you can pay for expedited filing. So for me in Kentucky, that means that my documents will reach the Secretary of State's office within 2 business days. And because it's just $49, this is something that I would personally pay for to have it done faster. However, if you want to save money and you're fine waiting, 2 weeks or more, then you can select that option. But again, for me, I want it done as fast as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and select that option here and go to next. So creating an operating agreement, usually isn't required by state law, but it's extremely important to create one in my opinion. The operating agreement is a document that outlines the ownership structure, management responsibilities, and operating procedures of your LLC. It also helps prevent misunderstandings, especially if you have other business owners or members of your LLC, and it provides a clear plan for handling different business scenarios. It basically keeps everyone in your business or LLC on the same page. So Taylor Brands can help you draft an operating agreement that fits your business, based on the information you provide for just $29. However, this is something that you can do for free. You don't have to have someone help you do it. You can simply go to Google, type in free LLC operating agreement. You'll see a lot of really good options. And then you can just download a template and then fill it out yourself. So for me personally, this is only $29. I would definitely like help doing it, so I don't have to do it myself. So I'm going to go with this option here and then do next. So again, what separates Taylor Brands from, pretty much all the other LLC formation services is all the additional products they offer, for your LLC. On this page, you can order an LLC formation kit, which comes with hard copies of your EIN, your articles of organization, your operating agreement, and more. So if you want these things in, a physical hard copy, then you can pay $99 for this. And if you don't, just simply, select I don't need a professional look and click next. And that's what I'm going to do here because I don't need this. So we'll go ahead and do next. You can also choose to receive, text notifications about your LLC status, compliance, and other offers for your business as well. So if this is something you're interested in, it's completely free. You simply click get notified, and then you'll basically get really important updates sent to your phone. Now, if you, opt into this, and in the future you decide, I don't really need these text messages, you can simply, just opt out of it. So it's a free service if you're interested in it. If you're not, you don't, have to select it for any reason. You could simply log into your account and see all of your notifications from there. So I'll go ahead and leave this selected and then go to next. Okay, so now we are ready to choose a plan for our LLC. So you can see there are 3 different plans on Taylor Brands. We have a light plan, an essential plan, and the elite plan. So with the light plan, you get your LLC formation, you get invoicing and bookkeeping, it's a free trial for that, and the business coaching program, which we looked at earlier. So this is going to be, free. It's $0 for the light plan. The only thing you have to pay are state fees, and you can see right here that my Kentucky state fees are $40. Now, this is going to depend on what state you live in. Kentucky state fees are pretty low when forming an LLC. If you live somewhere like Florida, Texas, California, it could be hundreds of dollars. So just keep that in mind. This is not a Taylor Brands fee. This is a state fee. So even if you somehow went through the process of creating an LLC yourself, you filled out all the paperwork, you would still have to pay that state fee regardless. So the light plan is basically, just going to get your LLC formed and created. It doesn't come with really anything else other than that, which you can see here, form your LLC, processed within 14 business days. So then we have the essential plan. Now the essential plan is going to include everything from the light plan with some additional things. And you can see the first thing it comes with is a $30 Amazon gift card. So you will get that from choosing this plan. And it's going to be $199 per year. So for the $199, you can see here, we're going to get the LLC formation. We're going to get legal compliance. So that's the compliance package we talked about earlier. Making sure that you get your annual report submitted on time and staying in compliance with the IRS as well. We also get 2-day expedited processing, which we looked at earlier as well. So instead of waiting, 2 weeks or more, we can go ahead and get our LLC filed with the state within 2 business days. We get the invoicing and bookkeeping free trial, the business coaching program, and if you scroll down here, you can see everything else. So form your LLC, process within 2 days. We get our compliance, which again, we talked about earlier in the video. We get an operating agreement. Again, this is something really important. It's not always required by the state, but I think it's very important that you have one. So yeah, it comes with a lot of things that we just looked at, before we got to this step. So it's going to be $199 per year for all this. And I think this is a really good option. So it's the plan I'm personally going to go with, but I first want to tell you about the Elite plan as well, because the Elite plan might be best for you. Okay, so with the Elite plan, you're going to get everything from the Essential plan. It's going to be a little bit more expensive at $249 per year, but you get a $50 Amazon gift card. You get, again, everything else that we talked about earlier, but you also get, a free domain. For me, that's going to be faithfullyjosh.com. You get the business website. So that's going to be the website built for your business with your domain. And the business coaching program, again, that's in every single plan. But if we scroll down here, you can see everything else. So everything that we talked about in the other plans, but if we go down further, here we go. We get 1 year, a free domain for 1 year. We get the do-it-yourself website, online store, 8 free logos, digital business card, social media post maker, and business card tools. If you want, everything in one place, you need help creating your website, logos for your business, everything else as well. The Elite plan is going to give you everything you need and, help you keep everything in one place. For most of you, I think the Essential plan is what you would want to go with. However, if you're someone that just wants to get your LLC formed and you can handle a lot of other things by yourself, then the Light plan would work for you. If you're someone that wants, a website, a domain, logos for your business and everything else, then the Elite plan would be best for you. Now, for me personally, I'm going to go with the Essential plan and select it right here. Okay, so now this is going to be the pricing overview. So let's go ahead and go through this real quick so I can explain it to you. Again, the Essential plan is going to be $199. It comes with a $30, free Amazon gift card that we're going to receive. We're going to have to pay $40 in Kentucky state fees. Again, I'm sorry you can't get out of the state fees. You have to pay it. The business coaching program is free. It's included. We have invoicing and bookkeeping. We get a 30-day free trial. If we want to keep it after that, it's going to be $30 per month, which you can see right here. You can cancel it anytime you want. The registered agent service is going to be charged after your LLC is reviewed and processed. It's going to be $199 per year. This is something I would recommend. It's something that I use because, I don't want to be my own registered agent. I don't want to appoint a friend or family member and put their name on record with the state. So this is something I'm personally going to use right here. We have the EIN or tax ID number. Again, this is the social security number for your business. That's how you can think of it. It's something you have to get. You can pay Taylor Brands $99 to get it for you, or you can, get it yourself like I showed you earlier in the video. However, you're going to have to get this regardless. For me, I want to be hands off and not have to do the paperwork myself. So I'm going to leave this selected. And then the LLC formation kit, which I told you about earlier, I really don't need this, so I'm going to leave it unchecked. So the total amount I have to pay today is $199. So that amount is due today. And then I'm going to have to pay $99, which is going to be charged after my LLC is reviewed and processed for the EIN. And then I will also have to pay $199 per year for the registered agent service. And if you simply highlight over here, it's going to tell you, what it is and everything else. You can do that for each one of these. So that is the pricing breakdown for, the essential plan, which is what I'm going to go with. Now, all we need to do is simply go back down to the bottom, and we're going to continue to payment right here. And then you have two options. You can pay with, PayPal, or you can pay with a debit or a credit card. So if you already have a business credit card for your business, then you could pay with that credit card right here. If not, simply use PayPal, use a credit card or a debit card, and simply pay for it. And that's all you have to do. Okay, so after you pay for your LLC, then you can sign in to Taylor Brands, which you can see here. This is the Taylor Brands Studio. So this is basically where you can find everything about your LLC. So over here, you can see important updates whenever you receive those. You can see recommendations. And then over here on the left-hand side, you can access everything about your business, from your logos, your LLC. This is going to, be your articles of organization and things like that. Your domain, your website. Here's your EIN. It's probably going to take you a while to remember that number. I personally have mine memorized, but I've had my LLC for, 8 years now. So until you memorize that, you can simply access it right here in Taylor Brands. You also have taxes and accounting, business insurance, legal documents, licenses and permits, sales tax permit. Pretty much everything you need for your LLC can be accessed in this studio after you, go ahead and choose a plan, pay for it, and then get signed in. And if you have any questions, leave them on this video. I will help you out, the best of my ability. And if you have any further questions, you can simply come up here, click on Contact Us, and then you can either send an email to Taylor Brands or you can call them. And you can call this number, when you're going through this LLC formation process. If you have any questions about what to select on any of the previous screens that we went through, you can call this number and Taylor Brands can help you. And that's one thing I like about them a lot. They have their, phone number on pretty much every single page whenever you're going through that LLC formation process, and they're really helpful. Okay, so after successfully forming your LLC, there are several important post-formation steps that you need to know about. So after you have your tax ID or EIN, I strongly recommend that you open a business bank account so that you can separate your personal transactions from your business transactions. You don't want these commingled in the same bank account, because if your business was to ever be sued, then the attorney on the opposing side could do something that's called piercing the corporate veil. Now this means they could basically come after your personal home, your personal car, your personal bank accounts, and if you're like me, you definitely don't want that to happen. I also have a business credit card as well, and I would definitely recommend it for the cashback rewards. Now on top of that, it's going to help you, keep your business expenses separate as well, and you can have your, business bank account pay off your business credit card every month. And I think it makes a lot of sense. It's going to help your accountant out a lot. And there's a lot of subscription services I use for my business, and you can't really type in, like a bank account number and routing number. So having a business credit card, helps me from that perspective. And it also helps me, take advantage of cashback rewards. So next, I recommend that you hire an accountant or CPA for your business. So first off, they can help you make sure you're paying the right amount every month for your quarterly estimates. Now, the reason you want to do that is so that when the, end of the tax year rolls around, you don't owe the IRS a bunch of money and end up with, penalties. So an accountant can make sure you're paying what you need to pay every month based on your business income and your expenses and other things as well. So that's one reason. You also need one to help manage your business finances, to help you make sure you're getting all the right tax advantages and everything else that, an accountant or CPA can help you with. Me, I'm just, a small business owner like you are. So, we really need someone that knows what they're doing to help us with our taxes and our business. I've worked with my accountant since I started my business around 8 years ago, and she's helped me out tremendously, both from a financial perspective and also a compliance perspective. And if you don't use Taylor Brands to help you obtain any, licenses or permits that your LLC might need, then you definitely need to contact your local city or county government offices so that they can help you determine, any licenses or permits that your LLC might need. So for the next steps after watching this video, I would highly recommend creating a website for your business, and you might want to consider S-Corp election for your LLC if your business is making at least $60,000 a year or more. And the 2 videos linked on the screen right here can help you out with both. So as always, thank you so much for watching. I sincerely appreciate you being here and all your support. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video.